Now, yesterday I was actually going to give you a video talking about how I don't really like how popular content creators kind of make their content feel isolated and not relatable anymore. Because with everybody kind of doing like, these big high value production things to their content to, I guess, make it feel like you're watching a documentary that's on PBS Kids, honestly. Basically, it feels like, there is no relatability with a lot of these people and how it's not necessarily as, close and how as like it could be cozy with you. Basically, like sometimes you watch a content creator and they can feel like a friend right in your own home, but nowadays just feel like everybody is on a higher standard, and then it just feels like everybody is not necessarily on that type of timing, and it just feels distant and it feels weird. Honestly, it's just not necessarily something I really enjoy that a lot of content creation is, because either everybody just copying each other or doing the same things as everybody else is, and just doing what works because the algorithm said so, and all that sort of stuff. And there's just, again, no relatability to them, and it feels like just they're keeping you isolated from trying to be, relating to them in some shape and form. At least that's what it comes down to me. And basically just going on a lot of other things when it comes to that topic. The video file was just way too damn large to honestly use anything of it. So I end up having to scrap that, which is why I have to come through today to do something else. But it's also, at the same time, with that video, I still want to keep some ideas within that one and kind of put it to this one. But the point of that video was essentially just the fact that I wanted to compare my content to a lot of the other people that is out there in ways of like, what do I do that's different than a lot of other people? And essentially what I went down and say was like, is anybody out here talking about lolly content like I do? Not necessarily, because people are scared to really talk about that shit. And when it comes down to it, the only reason why I brought it up was because I wanted to test those waters, and then as time goes on, I wanted to honestly see and learn more about it. Then obviously we have things like waifu material and all the other stuff that we obviously do on this channel, and kokatsu, which is like obviously my favorite thing to do on this channel because it's just where I can be the most creative when it comes to just telling stories or creating different characters and such a thing like that. Honestly, I would argue that when it comes down to a lot of these bigger channels, when it comes down to having something that you could care for, that you could relate to, that you could not feel so isolated for, I would argue that my channel actually does way more than those channels do. And everybody is so damn professional now when it comes to content creation, and it just makes things a lot more challenging, and it kind of feels like you have to be at that level. But to be honest, you really don't have to be. You could be like a slideshow asshole like my damn self and then still garner a fair amount of people, though, even if it's not as the best of high quality as it could be. And even if you don't think I give you high quality content, I try to give you the best that I can, which is why waifu material is often fun, and I try to put as many memes as I can in that shit to just really show that, yeah, I can do pretty good edits, and hopefully my commentary will make you laugh, honestly. Like, that's like the three main things of the whole thing of what I try to do here. Either I'm gonna try to, be relatable with you, try to make you not feel so isolated, try to make you have an entertaining time, or learn something if we're trying to, talk about something serious. The point is, running a channel is far more difficult than I originally thought it was going to be. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's still something I love to do, and it's still something I obviously need to prove to myself that I can do, because I'm not stopping even when we hit the 10K, whenever the hell that be. We are 15, maybe 14 away from hitting 2.5, but we need to get the hell out the twos like immediately, because this is some long ass nonsense. Not gonna hold you. But when it comes down to it though, I will definitely tell you that just sitting here making content, thinking of different ideas on what we can do is by far, obviously like the biggest challenge of it, because I don't like doing the same type of content, and I don't like, giving you repeat content like all these other channels like to do. The only reason why doing repeated content works is because the algorithm actually, rewards you for that, which is horrible. Creativity is dead to YouTube. So when you try to do something different, you don't know how to handle all that shit, which is why I'm probably stuck in the position that I am, honestly, because I just don't want to do the whole same thing over and over again. That's just not ever how I've been. Even in the early days of what I did with content, I have been a random son of a gun when it comes down to it though, right? One minute you might see me talk about something serious, the next minute I might act like I'm from 1966 Batman, like dead ass. I might be out here being on some nonsense like Adam West used to be, but that's just how I am though, and I don't necessarily think I can help that, honestly, because that's just what I like to do. I'm not necessarily a super professional person. I can be, but I would also like to be a bit relatable to people that come through on the channel and watches me from time to time, honestly. So that's just how it is. There's just a lot of things out here for everyone, and I just hope everybody can find something that is for them, even if not every piece of content is just something that you want to see. And hell, I can even say the same thing about the NSFW Artist Appreciation, which honestly I would say is probably the better series of engagement, mainly because a lot of people, you know, look at the Gensai material that these people make, but never really think about what do they use, or how does it really look, and you know, what kind of technique do they probably put down when it comes down to it, and what is the artist behind the scenes. And that's why I was happy to do the damn Q&A, because we don't really talk about them like that in that sort of way. And the artists that do be like that, you know, actually engaging with people, it's not necessarily as much as we like to see. So, you know, if I can bring a Q&A to give some people some ideas of who is behind this, then that will be really damn cool. But again, at the same time, I don't want to overdo that series, mainly because, you know, I just don't want everybody just be bogged down in just one thing. Again, that would be kind of doing the same thing as everybody else, repeating the same type of content. To be perfectly honest, I am probably also one of the only other VTubers that be this damn different, right? Sure, you might have like a few other ones that do something pretty damn different, corporate ones as well, maybe, you know, in some shape and form, but I don't think there's anybody that can or would probably go down the same path as I do. No, I'm not bragging because I'm that damn good. I'm just saying that this is just how it is for me, right? And again, one of the things I've often see too is, especially like, you know, you get to such a high level that you kind of forget your place. You kind of forget who you are or where you came from, and you know, the people that helped you get there. And that's something I try to take very seriously, right? I may not sometimes speak all the time or really, you know, say all this stuff out loud, but I do take a lot of the things that happen when it comes down to just this community, just with this channel entirely. I take this shit very seriously, especially anytime when, you know, you guys often do something for me and, you know, you don't ever really get anything in return, if at least when I try to at times. And it's just like, there is so much level of, I would say, I wouldn't say straight up commitment, because I feel like commitment is a bit like, you know, a super more intimate, I guess, relationship when it comes to that. And some of you guys I do know a little bit more in depth, but I would say this is like a very valued friendship, I would say, because, you know, not a lot of people, because at least when I was reading on people who gets to even 2K subscribers, I'm a part of an 8% group of people that gets here. That's not a lot of people. So the fact that I was able to do this already just goes to show you that, yeah, there is definitely that potential that a lot of people said in the past that this channel has. I don't want this channel to be like everybody else, and I don't want necessarily just be in a position where I feel like I'm stuck doing the same damn thing. And to be very honest with you, sometimes talking about a lot of the waifu stuff that we have been talking about, at times have been times where I don't upload on those days because I try to think of interesting ways to talk about things, yet it feels like the same thing and I just don't want to do the same thing. And that's why sometimes I don't necessarily, you know, talk about a lot of the things that you will expect me to talk about, and just jump on topics that you think that is maybe important, but for me it may not be. So that's just also like another thing too. But my point is just that I don't want to be like everybody else. I just want to be my own person. And if I were to actually get that blow up and get that growth, then when it comes down to it, you know, people will have to just see me for what I am and what I do, honestly. You don't necessarily have to agree with it, but it is what it is. It's just my take and how I am as a person, and that just is what it is, honestly. But that's really what I wanted to say for this one. Originally, I was also going to chuck in like those new 3 Kokatsu characters, just full modeled, and tell you a little bit about them. But I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that for maybe a video for maybe tomorrow, maybe, or whenever I get the chance to maybe do it. Because there's like a fair amount of characters I made that's pretty damn new that you might be interested into learning about. But we'll see how that goes. But essentially, that's really what I wanted to throw down with. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and we're out. Also follow me on the socials, and you'd like to be a supporter of the channel, Kofi and Cash App is available as well. I need $5 with 2 zeros behind it, so 500. So if you have that, that'll be very nice. But in all seriousness though, yeah, that's also like, would be appreciated. But until then, it's your boy Jay signing off. Have a blessed day.